South Korea, for its part, has two military plans in place.
요즘 북한은 하루가 멀다 하고 군사 보도를 쏟아내고 있습니다. 미사일 잠수함 거의 매일 새로운 장면이 등장하죠. 특히 눈에 띄는 건 핵무기를 더 키워야 할 이유로 뜬금없이 베네수엘라 사태를 꺼내들었다는 점입니다. 그 명분의 끝에는 늘 신형 무기가 줄줄이 등장합니다. 최근 북한 매체를 보면 이건 우발적인 과시가 아니라 의도된 흐름이라는 걸 알 수 있는데요. 특히 눈에 띄는 건 핵잠수함 공개입니다. 북한은 한국의 원자력 추진 잠수함 건조 계획을 반드시 대응해야 할 위협이라고 규정하며 8,700톤급 핵잠수함을 전면에 내세웠습니다. 잠수함 발사 탄도미사일, SLBM 발사대와 소형 원자로가 탑재됐을 것으로 추정되는 이 잠수함은 곧 실전 배치 단계에 들어갈 가능성까지 거론됩니다. 이 시점도 의미심장합니다. 곧 열릴 조선노동당 대회를 앞두고 5년 전 제8차 당대회에서 약속했던 핵잠수함과 수중 발사, 핵전략 무기 보유가 계획대로 진행되고 있음을 대내외에 과시하려는 움직임으로 보이기 때문입니다. 북한의 메시지는 분명합니다. 한미에 맞서는 핵 억제력은 이미 되돌릴 수 없는 단계에 들어섰고 노선 변화는 없다는 선언에 가깝습니다. 이런 일련의 군사력 과시에 대해 전문가들은 북한이 핵보유국 지위를 굳히려는 동시에 미국과의 향후 협상에서 우위를 점하려는 계산이 깔려있다고 봅니다. 실제로 이코노미스트는 점점 더 억압적이고 위협을 강화하는 북한이라는 제목의 기사에서 국제사회가 북한의 핵 보유를 사실상 인정하는 쪽으로 조금씩 기울고 있다는 점이 김정은의 자신감을 키우고 있다고 분석했습니다. 제재 완화가 절실했던 과거와 달리 지금 김정은은 훨씬 강한 패를 쥐고 협상 테이블을 바라보고 있다는 겁니다. 이런 상황에서 만약 남북 간의 전쟁이 벌어진다면 결과는 어떻게 될까요? 누구나 한 번쯤은 막연하게 떠올렸지만 정작 제대로 들여다본 적은 없는 질문이죠. 그리고 이 의문을 정면으로 파고든 영상 하나가 공개됐습니다. 군사 전문 채널 밀리터리쇼는 남북 간의 차이를 막연한 공포나 감정만이 아니라 핵 위협, 군사력, 경제력, 그리고 국제 질서까지 모두 숫자와 사실로 비교 분석합니다. 그리고 그 결론은 분명합니다. 전쟁의 향방을 결정하는 건 위협의 크기가 아니라 국가의 진자치력과 준비된 힘이라는 것이죠.
South Korea has long possessed the technological prowess and capabilities to create a nuclear deterrence of its own, but it hasn't. That's largely due to its defense alliance with the US, which provides a comprehensive nuclear umbrella, including guarantees to strike back with a devastating nuclear attack should the country ever be attacked with nuclear weapons. To back up the threat, the US maintains a fleet of nuclear-armed and ready bombers, submarines, and ground-based ballistic missiles in the region. That means that within hours, if not minutes, of North Korea launching an attack on Seoul, most of Pyongyang and its military installations, including its nuclear facilities, would likely become a radioactive wasteland.
한국은 이미 핵무기를 만들 수 있는 능력을 오래전에 갖춘 나라입니다. 하지만 선택하지 않았다는 것을 모두가 알고 있는데요.
Of course, there's no guarantee that a North Korea-South Korea clash would immediately go nuclear, or involve nuclear weapons at all, although on paper at least, that might be Kim's best chance at success, if mutually assured destruction can be considered a success. In terms of conventional forces, there's a great mismatch between the two sides, leaning in South Korea's favor. While the North may have the advantage in terms of quantity, the South has an overwhelming advantage in terms of quality. South Korea's technological and manufacturing superiority hasn't just been confined to superconductors, vehicles, Samsung, and chips. Its military products are among the most high-tech and in demand in the world. In contrast, North Korea's arsenal is mostly comprised of aged Soviet-era equipment, and it's unclear how much of it even works anymore, let alone how effectively. In terms of sheer manpower, North Korea has a larger military force, with around 1.32 million active personnel, compared to South Korea's 600,000. However, South Korea has a larger reserve force, with around 3.1 million personnel, compared to North Korea's 560,000. Compulsory military service is also between 7 and 10 years in the North, while it's only on average 21 months in the South. However, given the huge disparities in budget, technology, and facilities, the South troops are universally considered to be much better trained, equipped, and armed.
이 영상은 대한민국이 왜 더 이상 불안에 흔들릴 나라가 아닌지, 왜 세계가 한국을 한반도의 변수가 아닌 축으로 보는지를 선명하게 보여줍니다.
However, in general, North Korea simply hasn't had the means to develop the kind of technologically advanced array of weapons possessed by the South, which spends around $262.8 billion in the next 5 years on its military, compared to just $1.5 billion for the North. In the air, the South enjoys overwhelming superiority. The DPRK has around 951 military aircraft in total, compared to around 1,576. But the difference is qualitative, not quantitative. The North's fleet comprises mostly Soviet-era Russian and Chinese planes.
공중전이 시작되는 순간 승패는 이미 갈립니다. 바다에서도 마찬가지입니다.
Likes of the F-35A and F-16, of course, pack much more advanced weaponry, including precision-guided air-to-air and air-to-surface missiles. So in a pure air battle, the result is likely to be carnage for the North. At sea, North Korea has a large advantage in terms of total numbers, with 505 vessels compared to just 200 for South Korea. But again, it's quality and not quantity that counts here, and the South has a distinct advantage, despite the numerical mismatch. For starters, the South has 2 aircraft carriers, although in fairness these Dokdo-class giants are built more for helicopters than attack aircraft. North Korea has nothing of the sort. The South Korean Navy also has a range of modern destroyers, frigates and corvettes, all equipped with state-of-the-art offensive and defensive capabilities. In comparison, only 5 of North Korea's Navy vessels can even be considered a frigate or corvette, and even then they're old and have limited capabilities. One naval area where North Korea does have a significant numerical advantage that could make a difference is submarines. North Korea has 35, while South Korea has 22. Again, there's a huge gulf in quality between the modern South Korean subs and North's smaller, much older ones. However, it is feasible that North Korea's submarine fleet may be able to penetrate South Korean waters and cause damage before inevitably being targeted and destroyed by the South's vastly superior radar.
뿐만 아니라 땅 위에서는 격차가 더 분명해집니다.
The bulk of North Korea's tanks are Soviet-era T-55 and T-62Ms, alongside PT-76s, and locally produced Pokpong-hos. South Korea, on the other hand, produces one of the best tanks in the world, the K-2 Black Panther, and its predecessors, the also impressive K-1 and upgraded K-1A1. The differences between the firing power and the armor of these 2 tank fleets are so pronounced that it's not clear whether North Korean tanks even possess the firepower to damage K-1s or K-2s at all, or whether their armor will offer any protection against modern shells. South Korea, for its part, has 2 military plans in place, one to instigate an attack on North Korea and one to repel a conventional attack. The preemptive attack plan, called Kill Chain, would see Korean special forces fly into North Korea to identify and/or destroy suspected missile launch locations. These units could attack the missiles themselves with heavy weapons or remain hidden and call in air and cruise missile strikes. Once Kill Chain is initiated, hundreds of conventionally armed missiles and aircraft would streak north toward their targets, attempting to destroy North Korea's mobile missiles, kill Kim Jong-un, or destroy his means of communicating with his nuclear forces in the field. This ambitious program is one of the few offensive conventional deterrence plans to counter nuclear weapons known to exist. A similar contingency plan, Korea Massive Punishment and Retaliation, or KMPR, would seek to destroy not only North Korea's nuclear weapons, but the regime as well. Unlike Kill Chain, which involves only precision-guided missile strikes and a handful of special forces, KMPR also involves a seemingly suicidal invasion of the North by 3,000 Republic of Korea Marines.
북한이 무엇을 꺼내들든 한 가지는 분명합니다. 대한민국은 위협에 휘둘리는 나라가 아니라 계산하고 대비하는 나라라는 것이죠. 그래서 한국은 싸우지 않기 위해 가장 철저하게 준비된 나라입니다. 여러분의 소중한 의견을 남겨주세요. 바쁘시더라도 구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 앞으로도 더욱 노력하여 유익하고 재밌는 콘텐츠로 찾아오겠습니다. 지금까지 단골이슈였습니다.